Normally, for rope splicing, I've got a Julian. So we've got a parcel arrived. This should be my new anchor winch. Let's just open up and see. Plenty of cardboard packaging, packing slip, and yes, I'll just take this out. And more bits of packaging, and yes, there is a nice shiny new anchor winch, powered. It's been something we've needed for quite a while. The anchor winch on Ava Grace is manual, so it can get hard work, and it won't allow any rope rode. So what we want to do is extend our chain. We carry 28 meters of chain, but for some areas where we will be anchoring hopefully next year, we'll need more than that. So we want to extend it with some rope rode as well. So we're taking this opportunity to switch everything out. And so there it is, one Lewmar Anchor Windlass. Quite heavy, but neatly packaged. Okay, so this is the underside of our anchor winch, our old one, and we're into the chain locker in the bow section. This is, I don't like the setup, the way this has been set up in the past. We've only got chain, and the chain is bolted to one of the bolts holding the nose peak on, and then of course that all comes down into the massive chain, and then comes back up and disappears up through there. Our current anchor winch is bolted on with those 4 bolts there. So what I want to do today is I'm going to remove the chain, unbolt the old winch and take the winch off. We'll lay the new template on and drill oversized holes for the new winch, and then fill all of the holes back up with thickened epoxy, and then leave that to set. And so the first part is done. That's the end of the chain, so I have to go up at the top now, and we'll pull the chain out and put that onto deck. I'll make sure we secure the anchor before I do that. So we've got the anchor secured with a line from the front of the anchor, and we've also got one line at the back as well, so that's well secure. I can now start to just pull with a little bit of security the chain out, and we'll lay it down onto the deck. So one empty chain locker. Took a bit of untangling. I'll tell you what, it shows how rough the seas were that we've been through, because the chain had got itself tangled up on itself. I do need to find a better way of actually mounting it at the bottom end, and I think it's going to have to come back to one of these bulkheads.
Okay.
So it's tight squeezing that anchor locker, undoing the other end of these bolts. I've got them all out. This is loose. It's just a matter of getting this last one come through, and there we are.
What a mess.
So that's the old winch, a manual winch, Vitus.
and all this chain is laid on there.
That was hard work. Only had 4 bolts to undo, but the gap into the anchor chain locker is not the best. I had to squeeze in there, up to my stomach. Wow, got the shakes now. So I've taken some photocopies of the template. What I'm going to do now is drill some oversized holes so I can get some thickened epoxy made up to fill for these. I'll leave that, I'll centre that on the current hole. I'll leave that for another day because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to seal that. So we've positioned the template, ready to drill the mounting holes and the holes for the wires. I've had to move it forward because we've got a bolt here which would have fouled the back of the winch, but I think everything else will be fine at that. So with the main holes drilled, I'm just going to open them out so I can then fill them with thickened epoxy, ready to harden off, and then re-drill them tomorrow once these harden. So we just need to clean that up. What I've also done is marked out where the chain hole is. I'll get a jigsaw and cut that out, and then I can smush thickened epoxy into it and fill where I don't need it. Just looks a bit of a mess at the minute, but we'll get there. Okay, so looking at the power, very nice people at Carver have installed the large power cables right into the anchor chain locker for me. I think I'm absolutely astounded. They're live. They go through the main breaker and they are live. I've got 12 volts up here, and it's been like that for 30 years. Now I found that the positive side has corroded away, presumably because it's kept picking up on the anchor chain. It was just protected with a little bit of electrical tape, and it was open, so it's been getting seawater in here and fresh water when it rains, presumably, and yeah, well, at least they've saved me the job of finding the other end because I know where that is. All I have to do is fit a breaker to it, so it's not all as simple as it looks. So we're back on this job. It's had the thickened epoxy's had an extra day to set, so it's nice and hard. Put another template over the top so I can re-drill the holes through those oversized holes I made, and then we'll just clean up the big 70 odd millimeter hole, and then we're ready to put the winch on. And ooh, look at that! So nice shiny new anchor winch. Not coupled up yet. That's next part. Got all this to sort out. There we go, but it's looking nice. Oh, there we are from the other side. Nice and shiny piece. Now the other thing I want to do is I'm going to put 2 foot buttons here for it so we can operate from the front, and then I've got a rocker switch to go to the top deck. So we're on probably day 3 of the anchor winch installation. doesn't really take that long. It's just we're plodding along. We've got other things going off as well. So where I'm at now, I've just temporarily rigged up the main relay. So we've got power live and live to the winch, negative, ground, and ground from the winch. We've got the ground back there. I've got the positive feed coming back through a fuse line, and then the two control cables. One's blue, one's yellow. I've got the yellow one doing the down and the blue one doing the up. And I've just temporarily rigged it to the windlass rocker. So that's set up there, power in to the centre, and then the ups and the downs. And if I press it, that was down, and that's up. So all I have to do is tidy all this lot up. So rightly or wrongly, I'm going to mount the relay up there. It will be in the anchor chain locker, up out of the way. We can then tie up the power cables to the top, and I can bring the main power cables up and around either side to the top, out of the way. And these tracer leads, they can also be tied back. I'm just waiting for my tie backs coming. Just had to order them. So next thing is mount this little bugger, and that's going to be fun. And down in our electrical panel, I've now got the breaker. That's a 70 amp breaker. That's also the isolator for the anchor winch. So that is connected, so that will allow us to operate the winch, and it's now isolated. So we've got the new anchor winch on, and we've got our foot pedals in position. So to go down, it's and to come back up,
So this morning David's got the rope for the anchor, and he's bought a splicing tool, which is called what, Dave?
a fid.
A fid. And he's had his
No, I haven't.
he's had his phone on so he could look up on how to do it, and any second now there's going to be a stream of swearing, and I apologise in advance. David's splicing. Is it splicing?
Yeah. I'm learning. I've only ever tried it once before, and that's a while back.
So he's put 3 different colours on his ends of his rope so he knows which one he's picking up. He's got
green, black, green and black.
Okay, I won't tell you the colours. But this is to hold as anchor if we need extra drop. This has to be secure, because if not, we've lost his anchor. Notice he didn't answer that one. Well, unfortunately, you can't see his face because he's got it down and pretending. We'll come back later and see how he's doing. As the saying goes, by Jove, I think he's got it. He's now bracketing down a rate of knots. he comes to do the one on the chain, he should be proficient at it. There.
So we've got thimble in, so that goes for the shank, for the shackle to go through to tie it off into the boat, and then we've got that spliced into position, so that's held. As it tightens up, it pulls it in. So all I've got to do is cut and melt these ends. I think I might just carry on actually.
Like I said, surely the more that's on, the better it is. And considering, you know, it could be the safety of the boat. If it gives way and we'll lose anchor, if we anchor somewhere overnight and are asleep. It's coming almost natural to him now. Thank heavens for YouTube. Where would we be without it? What says you, my little man? Hey, what says you? Yeah, hello. That's where sat on the sofa. He's come to join us. But it's only because he's hoping I'll get up and feed him. Because every so often he'll give me a nudge to let me know he's there. Which means, hey, feed time. Right, I guess that's the last threading.
Well, I don't think I'll get much more in. Just took them in.
Don't forget you've got to melt the ends.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's about. Yeah. So I don't think I'll get that one in. Oh, well, yes, I
will. I think he's done it, by Joe Peps. I think he's done it. Hey, that looks very neat actually. The first one he ever did, he did for one of our short lines that were going to stay on the deck. So when we came and went, it was a fitted line, it was already measured, and all we did was just loop it over one of his cleats. But it always looked raggedy.
Well, somebody nicked that one. Would you believe it? Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that.
Would it pass Julian's critical eye? Would you be happy showing it to Julian?
Yeah, I think Julian would be. Normally for rope splicing, I've got a Julian, but he's a bit far away at the moment. He's down in Hull, wearing Hartlepool, so I haven't got a Julian. Okay, so we've just spliced to the chain as well. So we've just spliced to the chain. That's there. Just moulded it all in, so that's ready to go back in.